This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I am your host, the Eric. Every episode I'm on, they're like, oh, it's Eric Ede. No, stop it. I'm Eric. He's Walling. Leave it alone.
Is that where we're going from now on? Is
Yes.
that it? So we're just, okay. We can do that. You're the original.
That's what I'm saying.
You're the OG Eric.
Damn right. Anyway, so today's game, we will be pitting Benchwarmer team of Dan and Josh versus Benchwarmer Marcus and newcomer Tex Western. Welcome to the bench, Tex. Why don't you take a minute, let us know where you're from, teams you root for, anything else you want to throw at us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. So I'm the managing editor of Acme Packing Company, the SB Nation blog that covers the Green Bay Packers. Born and raised in the Milwaukee area. So Packers fan. You know, I bleed cheese. Have since birth. Went to University of Wisconsin, so Badgers fan. And then I'm a very fair weather Bucks fan. I'll admit it. I grew up not a big basketball guy, but it's easy when you've got a good team. So it's not something I really knew anything about growing up. But honestly, my first love though was baseball and going to County Stadium as a kid in Milwaukee. Grew up a huge Brewers fan. One of my core memories as a kid was seeing Robin Yount hit his 3,000th hit. So that's my kind of claim to fame as a little kid. So that's a little bit of where I'm at. I'm living in Ohio now. The only Ohio team I have adopted is the Columbus Blue Jackets. Everything else here in Ohio can suck it. And that's me in a nutshell.
All right, so you started with 2 strikes, Packers fan and Badgers fan. All right. And you'll be teaming with Marcus today. Marcus, how's it going?
Great. A really late summer here developing in Washington, and we had some nice consecutive days. So I washed my car. That felt good. With Tex being a Wisconsin fan, we can bond over the fact that we can both be UW and not be salty about it.
We can work with that.
Yeah, we can work with that. And for our team name, I listened to the Pat McAfee show. They had a great shirt for Mr. Rogers that plays quarterback there. And so our team name is going to be Droppin' Dimes and Suck It Signs.
All right, so I will mess that up 35 times. I'll probably just drop you guys down to suck it at some point.
Which is fine. I'm very good with that.
It's fair.
All right. Let's throw it over to Dan and Josh. How you guys doing?
I'll go first. Dan's got our name. Doing well. You know, I will try to play nice and not be too hard on Tex. Although Brewers, I have no problems with the Brewers. I didn't even when they were in the American League. You know, it was cool.
No one has a problem with the Brewers, and there's a reason for that.
Wow, they were
Sorry.
good. One time, and they were decent not that long ago.
1982.
Hey, Seattle Pilots.
Brewers are off to their best 40 game start in franchise history right
There
now.
you
Guys.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
Was that 500?
Wow.
Never mind. Sorry.
Ede.
Sorry.
Hey,
Sorry.
your team is not.
Yeah, they're terrible. Let's move on.
All right. Well, other than that, Dan will appreciate this, but this afternoon, for my other, part-time hobby thing that I do, we had a little mini proto spiel that we were doing some game testing at. So I've had a pretty good day today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. That makes me happy.
Whoa.
Dan's got a little scotch in him, so it's gonna get weird here soon.
Although this might throw us off of actually answering questions. We're just going to be talking game design.
Oh, boy.
And that is some fascinating audio right there.
Yes.
That'll be our next next side project, along with the naked bootleg. I'm great. My parents were in town for my daughter's birthday, which meant that I ate well this weekend.
Yeah.
Just got back from a really nice restaurant, and I'm stuffed. I'm stuffed right now, and it's all good though. They're heading home tomorrow. I'll get to go back out to Minnesota in the end of July, so get to see everybody then. Probably see Josh then. That'll be nice. And so anyway, Just quick story before we go on here. I've got 3 reasons why I can't stand the Packers, and they're all, I don't know, they're all equal. One, you haven't not had a quarterback since 1991. No other team can say that.
I won't tell you how old I was when Brett Favre took over for Don Mikowski.
Second, and this goes also along with the third one, a lot of success in there, and I did not get the success in there. And third, in my beloved hometown, on the Vikings flagship station, the longest running show is called Packer Preview. Drives me crazy. There's about 20% of the population in the Twin Cities that are Packers fans, and they will let you know it. Our team name is We're Bitter and We Know It.
I agree to all those sentiments.
Well, I apologize, Dan, because, we always, anytime we have a first-time guest, we always throw some questions their way that they might know a little more than. So this is a Packers-based game. I didn't want to tell anybody until
It's not written in stone.
We actually might sadly be able to answer Packer questions.
It's been in our faces.
All right. So, so let's move on. We're going to kick it over to Dan for the rules.
We'll be starting off with the coin flip question to warm up the teams. This will be followed by 4 quarters of play, each with a different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions pertaining to sports. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see your today's clipboard captains to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway. I sounded salty, you know why.
Yeah, that was a live read.
All right, it's time for the coin flip, a 50-50 warm-up question worth 10 points. And this question always goes to the guest and his teammate. So the coin flip question today is, who rushed for more yards during their rookie season in the NFL? Melvin Gordon and Monty Ball, or Jonathan Taylor and James White?
Okay. So Gordon, when he was a rookie, I'm trying to think, was he... God, how long has he been in the league?
That was either 15 or 16. I think it was 2016.
Okay.
Because JT last year was, what, 1,200, 1,300-ish?
Yes. He led the league, right? Because Derrick Henry missed a bunch of games. And James White couldn't have been any more than he's the pass catching guy. It couldn't have been more than 300 to 400 yards.
Yeah. And the Monty Ball one is throwing me because I'm trying to remember how much Denver actually used him as a rookie in 2013. Because I feel like Gordon was in the 1,100 range. So did Monty Ball have more than 200 yards more than James White as a rookie?
That's a great question.
I think I'd go JT and White personally.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. All right.
We'll check that in.
Okay. So Melvin Gordon, his rookie season, rushed for 641 yards. Monty Ball rushed for 559 yards his rookie season. So that gives them a total of 1,200 yards. Jonathan Taylor, we'll get to him. James White rushed for 38 yards his rookie season.
Oh, no.
Holy crap.
Jonathan Taylor rushed for 1,169 yards.
Nice.
So you add those up. That's 1,207 yards. So you guys got the correct answer on that. Jonathan Taylor and James White.
Man,
oh my goodness,
I was going to be really mad if you gave me a Wisconsin running backs question right off the bat and I got it wrong. So,
all right, heading into the first quarter, we have a score of dropping dimes and suck it signs with 10, and we're bitter and we know it, 0.
Bitter and we know it. Before we get to the first quarter, we wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
Today's first quarter will be David versus Goliath.
David versus Goliath. This quarter will consist of 3 pairs of questions, one easier, David, and one harder, Goliath. After hearing both questions, the teams will pick one of the 2 questions to answer, either David or Goliath. Each David question is worth 25 points, and each Goliath question is worth 50 points.
So David versus Goliath, this is the all-time at school edition. I'm going to give you 2 records at the same school, and you have to tell me who has them. So question number 1, Wisconsin football leader in total touchdowns is the David, and Goliath, Wisconsin football's leader in total offensive yards in a career.
All right, we'll check in.
All right, we're bitter and we know it's checked in. That means dropping dimes and suck it signs. You guys can talk it out.
All right. Well, we were pretty close to checking in, I think. So we started off with the usual suspects, Dane and Taylor, but we think that's pretty obvious. And then I threw out a question to Tex and I said, did you guys ever have a mobile quarterback? And then go ahead.
Brooks Bollinger, 2000 to 2003. Or I'm sorry, 99 to 2003. Wasn't a huge passing guy, but he was very mobile. Decent little NFL career as a backup. Jets. He played for Minnesota for a little bit. I don't remember. I think he did.
Played.
Yeah. But yeah, and he's about the only guy who started over the course of 4 different years that I can think of quarterback wise. So I think I like it.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And with these 2 teamed up over there, I think they're going to be pretty heavy on some Goliaths. They're smart. So, all right, we are going to check in the Goliath with Brooks Bollinger.
Okay, and we're bitter and we know it. What'd you guys come up with?
Well, we fooled you. We're dummies over here. We're going David. And we actually think it's Monty Ball.
All right, one team getting their points. So from 2009 to 2012 with 84 total touchdowns, it was Monty Ball. From 92 to 95 with 7,477 total yards, you have Darrell Bevel.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah.
So Bollinger's passing yards was only 5,600 or so. Darrell Bevel's passing yards was 7,686, so he lost yards with his rushing. He was the opposite of a mobile quarterback.
Don't tell that to UCLA's defense in the Rose Bowl in '93.
He was also an offensive genius for the Vikings.
And the Seahawks. That's why I said, oh, no. I said, no, Darrell Bevel got me again.
Oh, man.
All right, let's move on to question number 2 here. David is TCU football's all-time leading rusher, and the Goliath, TCU football's all-time leader in total touchdowns.
We're going to check in.
All right, dropping dimes and suck it signs checked in. So we have, we're bitter and we know it. Can talk it out.
So we're cool with LT for the David, right?
Well, for at least the David, right?
Least
I mean,
David,
I think he's in discussion, isn't he? Probably for the
if throwing the touchdown counts, then there's going to be quarterbacks that have more than LT.
Yeah. Fair enough. I wasn't. Yeah.
It's got to be either Andy Dalton or I think his name is Boykin, the guy that took over after Dalton was gone. They both played 4 years, and they both threw touchdowns.
Did they both rush a decent amount of touchdowns? You know,
perhaps.
I just don't think of Andy Dalton as being much of a. But maybe he was in college. I don't know.
Yeah. I would be willing to bet that both of them are pretty close in the ones that they threw.
Okay.
Because that offense was pretty potent. Always has been, really. And then I would guess that Dalton probably wasn't really responsible for a lot of rushing. And if not, I don't know. I mean, we got LT. We can go LT.
True.
And then it's a matter of, whether we want to roll the dice with the.
Do you think Boykin probably had maybe more rushing touchdowns?
Probably.
I'd be fine if you want to take the gamble on Boykin. I think because to me that's where I would lean out of the two.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right,
we'll check in with Boykin for 100
or 50.
And dropping dimes and sucker signs. What was your answer?
Well, we had a very similar discussion. And Tex threw in the 2011 Rose Bowl as maybe a connection. I said, I don't know if Eric's going that deep, but I think he threw this in there maybe because he knows that TCU is my second favorite team in college. And we also checked in Trevon Boykin. I feel fairly certain that he's probably around the same with Dalton in touchdowns, but he definitely in touchdown passes, but he definitely ran for a bunch. And Seahawks backup quarterback legend. So we checked in the Goliath with Trevon Boykin.
Okay, no one went for the David, which everyone knows was LaDainian Tomlinson. Tomlinson is fifth in total touchdowns with 54.
Fifth?
Yeah, fifth.
Wow.
Behind Kenny Hill, Max Duggar,
Oh.
or Duggan, sorry, Max Duggan, and the top two. So with 93 total touchdowns and 113 is the difference between the two. Number one is Trevon Boykin with 113. So both teams getting their points.
Nice.
Come on, Dan.
Sorry, we went David on the first one.
The Seahawks really liked him. And then like all of this stuff that's happened with Russ. And I truly believe that they liked him enough that if he had stayed out of his own way and hadn't gotten into a bunch of trouble, that they probably would have given him a shot as the starter whenever Russ decided to leave because they liked him that much.
So they're your second favorite team?
TCU, yes.
So purple is the common denominator. Do you like Northwestern too?
No. No, I like exciting football. I don't like 1930s football.
All right, so we got question number 3 for the David and Goliath here. I'm sorry, I had to do this. For the David, Ohio University basketball's all-time assist leader. And for the Goliath, Ohio University basketball's all-time points leader.
Okay.
I gotta do a bunch of exposition, Eric.
I was gonna say we gotta understand what this is all about.
So okay. Here, let me fill you in on what you're missing.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
I would think so. I mean, for any listeners, that's not for any non-hardcore listeners, that's not a David.
It should be. All right. It should be.
Do you know who that is?
No.
He said he lives an hour away and does not know. Eric.
Sorry. He's not from there. Well, how long have you been in Ohio?
11 years.
Not long enough. Not long enough. No.
As an aside, I've been to Athens. Beautiful campus.
Yeah,
absolutely beautiful campus. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it bad that I don't want to give that answer?
Listen, I haven't hosted in a minute, so just his name hasn't come up in a while. I feel like he's due his respect.
He's basically telling us that's the answer to David.
All right, we're checking in.
Dropping dimes and sucker signs is checked in. We're bitter and we know it can now talk it out and talk about Ohio basketball.
Getting more bitter by the moment, too.
I only know one actual person who played there.
And it's not DJ Cooper. I don't know who that is still. I know Gary Trent, but my guess is he wasn't that. And you're right. He's kind of more of a name, and that's probably the name most people could probably associate with Ohio basketball. And I don't think Gary Trent played there the whole time. I don't think he played 4 years.
Oh, well, then he probably wouldn't have held the record for points. So should we just go David and you can give the answer? Because I don't want to.
I've already said it once. You're not going to say it. So we'll check in with David with DJ Cooper.
All right. And dropping dimes and sucker signs. What'd you guys come up with?
This is one of my favorites because I had to explain that the first time I was ever on this podcast, before I was even a part of it, I was just a guest. there's a fourth quarter question about DJ Cooper. and Tex said no. How close do you live to the campus again?
I live an hour away. I'm in Columbus, so let's just say that sports talk in this general vicinity is dominated by a slightly bigger university.
The university, you might say.
It's a university.
I don't recognize that statement.
Okay, well, I think we should just go with yeah. Well, we checked in, decided before, because we checked in first. With the David and DJ Cooper.
See, everyone knew that answer because that's how easy it was, and that's how and everyone knows that name. Everyone knows that name. It's great. He's finally become a household name. So the David was DJ Cooper, and the Goliath, Ohio University basketball's all-time points leader. His name is DJ Cooper. No, it's Dave Jamerson. Jamerson. I don't even know how to say it.
Wait for it. Who?
Exactly.
Oh, wait. That was meant for David and Goliath. My bad.
Goliath and Goliath.
It's probably my most favorite question I've ever done. And I did not realize, Marcus, that you were on that first episode until you just reminded me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was my first episode on as a guest.
How long ago was this?
Oh, geez.
A year ago, maybe?
Over a year ago.
Oh, it was over a year ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's the name of the episode.
No, the title was Brian Boitano, My Balls.
Oh, that's right.
That would have been episode 27.
Oh, wow.
That released on September 2nd, 2020.
Wow, we're going on 2 years. Nice.
Well,
Nice.
you can guarantee that I'm never going to forget DJ Cooper the rest of my life.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
I look forward to coming back on Sunday and getting another DJ Cooper question.
The only way it works is if Eric Ede is the host, because nobody else is going to ask it.
Oh, really? Nobody else? Phil Sanford knows who he is.
It doesn't mean he's going to ask a question.
Phil knew who he was before the question was asked the first time.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, so after the first quarter, we have a score of Dropping Dimes and Suck It Science with 85, and we're bitter and we know it with a cool 100.
Support for today's Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. All of us here at Benchwarmers received the Performance Package as a part of our Manscaped sponsorship, and I can speak with authority that it is filled with all sorts of goodies. I highly recommend you give it a try. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping when you use the code BENCH at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that's about 8 million balls. So don't forget, use the promo code BENCH, BENCH, at checkout, manscaped.com.
Brings us to today's second quarter, which will be the missing link.
The missing link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
Missing link question number 1.
Say that again. You just said missing lick.
That too. I'm married. Missing link question number 1. What small forward went pro at 15? First year in the NBA was in the mid-90s, played for 5 NBA teams, including the Pacers and Raptors. His resume includes 1 NBA championship and 2 3-point contest championships.
All right, we'll check in.
All right. We're bitter and we know it's checked in. Dropping dimes and sucked at science talk about.
Yeah, going pro at 15 usually means international.
Right.
And when I'm thinking of multi-time winners of the 3-point contest, I can't think of anybody that's international, because you have Bird, you have Craig Hodges. I think Mark Price won twice. Famous European player, Mark Price. Jason Capono, but he didn't play in the 90s. So European player. Ooh. But I don't know if you won a title. What about Peja Stojakovic?
See, and I had Peja in my head too, but I thought he came in a little bit later.
Yeah. Well, because I don't remember him. I think I remember him with the Raptors, but not with the Pacers.
And
but
that's what I was thinking too.
Right. And obviously with the Kings.
Yeah.
And I think he won a 3-point contest. And I mean, it's very possible that he got 2, but I remember one.
Where would he have won a title?
Oh gosh. I mean, obviously not with the Kings, but I mean, he could be one of these guys that like floated around at the end and got one with like, the Lakers were taking on a bunch of people past their prime late, or like the Spurs or something, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's at least somebody I know who's won a 3-point contest that's European.
Yep.
I would say that's our best guess.
Yeah. That name popped into my head too. I think I'm good to roll with that. That's as good as anything I can come up with.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. We're gonna check in with Peja Stojakovic.
Okay, and we're bitter and we know it. What do you got?
I can tell you he won his title with the Mavericks. It's Peja Stojakovic.
And just real quick before he jumps in, Kukoc had 3 NBA championships.
Okay.
He was on the full three-peat.
He was, okay. Couldn't remember when he
the
got to
second
Chicago.
three-peat. Yep. Not the first one, but second three-peat. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Nope. Both teams getting their points here. The correct answer is Peja Stojakovic. He's won with the Mavs. He played with the Kings, then went to the Pacers, then to the Hornets, then to the Raptors, and then finished up with the Mavericks.
All right.
All right. On to question number 2. This right winger stood just 5'9", and over his 20-year career, he scored over 500 goals. Worked as a scout after his playing career and was the assistant general manager for the Lightning under Steve Yzerman. He was named the Ducks general manager in February of 2022.
That's ancillary. If you're good, you can.
Yeah. So, we're gonna check in.
Okay. Dropping dimes and suck signs checked in, so that gives we're bitter and we know it some time to talk this out.
Okay. This is when when I say, Josh, how good are you on your NHL? But I already know the answer.
I say, what's the NHL?
Oh man. I mean,
I don't pay a lot of attention to front offices.
What?
I know. That's crazy of me.
So yeah, I don't either. So I don't know who's
a fairly short right winger.
Who the Duck? Yeah, I don't know who. Yeah,
5'9". That's kind of
scout.
20-year career. It's got to be a name that I've heard of if he played for 20 years. I would think.
You would think. But we don't know who he played for.
No.
And that's going to hurt because there's a lot of people who have 500 goals. I mean, we're talking 30 of them, probably 35. How
many of them are short guys?
Well,
probably
I don't know if I could name all of them, first of all.
Let alone how tall they are.
And they're on skates. I don't know which ones are my height.
I mean, to be honest, they're all on skates. So the short ones would still look short compared to all the others.
That's true.
You didn't know Chara's only 5'5"?
Yeah. He just
skates
he just has really tall skates. Oh man. I don't think I'm going to be much help here.
I don't.
Yeah, there's not a lot for me to grab onto here, and I just don't have anything with the front offices.
No, I don't have this.
Okay. Well, just throw a name out there and we'll go from there.
No, I honestly, I have no idea. Someone like, I don't know, like Pierre Turgeon or someone. He's in the front office somewhere, isn't he?
I don't know. Didn't I already tell you I don't pay attention to front offices?
All right, let's go with Pierre Turgeon for 0 points.
Okay, and dropping dimes and sucket signs. What do you got?
We're gonna go with Pat Verbeek.
One team getting their points. The correct answer is Pat Verbeek.
Josh, you were onto something there. He was a mid-90s Red Wing in those 97, 98-ish Cup teams.
Like I said, I just wanted to try throw one last thing at Dan before he kind of gave up thought, just to see if I could shake something loose. And
I think I neglected to mention that I grew up a Red Wings fan in the 90s.
Oh, you did neglect to say that.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Surprisingly, I had nothing to do with that hockey question.
The answer came in so fast. I was like, that can't be Marcus. That was really fast.
Rude but fair. Rude but fair.
Tex, did you fall out of the bandwagon tree and hit every branch on the way down, or what?
No, see, look, growing up in Wisconsin, you're born and bred to hate Chicago sports teams and hate Minnesota sports teams. So what's the next closest thing when you're growing up looking for a hockey team? Detroit was the closest thing I had. So that's where I latched onto. And that was still before they got any good in the mid 90s.
That's fair.
I was gonna say, and at that point, you couldn't have rooted for a Minnesota hockey team. They didn't have one.
They very briefly.
I'm just saying, is if you picked up a fandom in the mid 90s, mid to late 90s,
or early,
you couldn't have early
90s,
well, but then you've been
but even so, like I said, I had like a 1 year window. So
yeah, that's not much of a window for
right.
Don't get Dan started. Don't say the guy that caused that issue.
All right, well, we'll move on from that.
We're bitter and we know it.
All right, so far our theme link answers are Peja Stojakovic and Pat Verbeek. Bringing us to question number 3. A late round draft pick, what linebacker was named the AFC Rookie of the Year, recorded over 1,100 solo tackles, and was a 5-time Pro Bowler, and somehow is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
We're going to check in.
All right, dropping dimes and sucket signs checked in. That means it's up to we're bitter and we know it to talk it out.
So, Dan, could this be Zach Thomas? I think I've heard Ede go on the rant about him not being in the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Everyone should be on that rant. Anyway.
That's just where my first thought went when
I mean, that makes sense.
I think he was a rookie, defensive rookie of the year. I couldn't tell you what round he was drafted, but wouldn't surprise me if he was late round because he's pretty short, wasn't he? For a linebacker.
Yeah, it was like 5'9" on skates.
Zdeno Chara height, I heard.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That makes sense, Josh.
Okay. We'll check in with Zach Thomas.
Okay, and dropping dimes and sucket signs. What do you got?
Yeah, we're also checking in with Zach Thomas.
All right, and for the record, he's 5'11".
Not on skates. He's not. He's only 5'9" on skates.
All right. Both teams getting their points. The correct answer is Zach Thomas.
Zach.
You pronounce all the letters, people.
All the letters. All right. So our theme link answers so far now, again, there are Peja Stojakovic, Pat Verbeek, and Zach Thomas. Question number 4. Considered to be the best center in his draft class, this player was projected as a 2nd or 3rd round pick. He would get selected in the 1st round, 31st overall. He would live up to his draft positioning, getting selected to the Pro Bowl 5 of his 6 seasons that he played, retiring after 7 years due to health reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll check in.
We're bitter and we know it has checked in, dropping dimes and sucket signs. Discuss.
Okay. So with the Pouncies, one of them wasn't very good. Mike I think Mike Pouncey. Wait.
I thought Mike was the center for the Steelers, and then Marquise was the one who jumped around from, I think what started in Miami and bounced around a couple places.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, but my issue is I thought Pouncey retired last year. And so I just don't remember him having a ton of injury issues.
I swear I remember one of the two like was really good and retired after a little bit. And 31st in the first round would work for him, if only because I know the Steelers picked 31st in 2011 after they lost to the Packers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But that's all I got. Because like you said earlier, it's got to be a fairly recent guy, with the 31st pick being a first rounder. So it's got to be in the last 20 years.
I'm having a hard time thinking of centers for some reason. Well, you got first round centers isn't that common, so it's like
the other one now that jumps out to my mind is Nick Mangold. Did he retire a little early?
Yes, I think I like that better.
Okay, the Jets presumably would have had to have traded up or down into that pick, obviously, but
but I think I like Mangold better because I know he retired relatively early, and he was injured quite a bit. Because like the other names, like I'm thinking of first round centers, I think of like Alex Mack, but he's still playing somehow.
Yeah, no. If you like Mangold better than Pouncey, I'm good with Mangold.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna check in with Nick Mangold.
Okay, and we're bitter and we know it. What did you guys come up with?
I knew who this was, but couldn't remember the name. Fortunately, Josh could remember the name. I said, Wisconsin guy, played for Dallas, and recent. And Josh picked it up from there.
Oh,
Travis Frederick.
One team getting their points. Sorry there, Tex. I thought I threw one at you, but I didn't hit home, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
The correct answer is Travis Frederick. He missed one complete season due to Guillain-Barré syndrome. Came back for one season, made the Pro Bowl, and then retired after that.
Look, when Wisconsin guys play for the Cowboys, they just leave my memory entirely.
I figured, going with picked well before they were supposed to be. Everybody should have immediately went to Dallas, but I guess. All right, so theme-linked answers so far. We have Peja Stojakovic, Pat Verbeek, Zach Thomas, and Travis Frederick. Bringing us to question number 5. Referred to by many as the greatest European player of all time, what player started his pro career in Germany at the age of 16, drafted in 1998 by a team in the northern half of the U.S., but would play his whole career for one team in the southern half of the U.S.?
We can check in.
We're bitter and we know it's checked in. That means suck it, can talk it out.
Suck it, can talk it out. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just I think there's only one answer, and he was drafted by my hometown Milwaukee Bucks and traded for Robert Tractor Trailer, which was a low point in that franchise's
That was a pretty
history.
fair trade.
So
I think the low point was the red jerseys. I think that was
yeah, that's fair.
When you're coming off the purple with the deer, which I do have a Monte Ellis jersey in my closet.
Nice.
Of that. You can't go to that god awful red, and I can't even call it red because it wasn't. It was whatever that was. Anyways. So do you want to go ahead and check in?
Yeah, well, we can check in with this one. All right. It's Dirk Nowitzki.
All right, and we're bitter and we know it.
Yeah, it's Dirk Nowitzki.
All right, both teams getting their points. The correct answer is Dirk Nowitzki. All right, so our 5 answers are Peja Stojakovic, Pat Verbeek, Zach Thomas, Travis Frederick, and Dirk Nowitzki. So I got both theme link answers, and we're going to start with, we'll go with our guest first here. Dropping dimes and suck it signs. What was your guess at the theme?
Well, we were looking at these names very perplexed. And then it hit me. I said, they all played in Dallas. And then Tex thankfully corrected me and said he thinks they finished their careers in Dallas. So that is what we checked in with.
Pat Verbeek did it again because he was on that Dallas Stars Cup winning team.
All right. And then we're bitter and we know it. What was your answer?
You seriously just bring up the Dallas Stars winning it.
We're bitter. We know it.
I wish I wouldn't have said anything about Peja finishing his career winning one with the the Mavericks. But yes, we also said that they finished their career in Dallas.
All right. Both teams getting their points here for the theme. They all finished their career in Dallas. Verbeek actually was in Dallas for a minute, went to Detroit for a couple, didn't win any cups in Detroit, and then finished up with the Stars. So after the second quarter, we have a score of dropping dimes and suck it signs with 215, and we're bitter and we know it, 280.
Comeback starts now.
And for any
Absolutely.
listeners that normally shut it off, right at the halfway through the game and never come back, you're going to want to come back for the third quarter. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Ooh.
That's called the tease in the biz. That's called the tease.
Listen, just in case there's anybody, they're like, this game sucks. You know what? The third quarter will bring you back.
Because
For all the people that once they heard DJ Cooper again said, I'm out of here.
That's it.
Stick around.
And they didn't stick around to
Oh.
hear this. They didn't get the teaser.
I think I know what the third quarter tease is, and I might be gone by then.
Oh no. I know there's probably a lot of people who are like, hey, this is a sports trivia podcast. What's this halftime entertainment crap?
Malarkey.
Let's just say there may not be a second team by the time we get to the third quarter, Josh.
Okay.
Yikes.
I'm not.
It might just be dropping dimes playing by themselves.
That happens.
We're gonna protest. Just
Probably. All right. So that brings us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 25 points.
Halftime question number 1. There has been 7 different versions of Mario Tennis. The most recent being Mario Tennis Aces for the Nintendo Switch. The original game was called Mario's Tennis and was released for what portable tabletop console where players use the console like a head-mounted display?
We can check in.
All right, we're bitter and we know it has checked in. Dropping dimes and suck signs. Talk it out.
Cool.
Great. Yeah, cool.
I mean, this just screams the Wii to me. It's possible they can just keep releasing Mario Tennis and putting a number on it, and it can still be for the Switch and the Wii and all that crap. But this seems like a Wii thing.
Yeah, I'm confused about the head-mounted display thing. I've got nothing. I have absolutely nothing.
I mean,
on
unless
this.
you think it goes back to like Nintendo 64 and there was like I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
What do you want to go?
Like the only other like portable system that I can think of was like the Game Boy series. Going farther back. That's also not a portable. That's also not a portable tabletop console, which has also got me hung up. So
yeah, it could be a PSP.
I don't know. Like
Maybe
Yeah.
PCP.
oh, no.
That's a different thing.
No.
You might be
no.
throwing your head around when you're.
Oh, you probably are. So no, kids, don't. Just don't. We don't even know.
I had the Sega Game Gear. That was the thing.
I had a Sega CD.
Oh yeah,
I had the Sega Master System.
I had a Sega Saturn.
Dreamcast. Love
Oh.
Sega.
All right.
Uh,
I don't know. Do you want to
Yeah.
say a DS?
sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. We're gonna check in with Nintendo DS.
And we're bitter and we know it. What was your answer?
I don't get video game questions that often, but this was the height of my actually paying attention to video game consoles. It was right after I graduated from college. I was working with kids. These things were hot for about
8 seconds.
32 hours.
8 seconds.
Yeah. This is the Nintendo Virtual Boy.
One team getting their points. The correct answer is the Virtual Boy, released in 1995, 1 year prior to the Nintendo 64.
I think it lasted about that long too.
I don't remember that at
Oh, it was not color. You put this thing on the table and you put your head up to it. It looks like a VR thing, and it's just
Wow.
like red outlined. Like that's all it was just red outlines of like characters walking around and playing tennis and like other games like that.
So you had to look at the person's head. You had to look at their head for what was going on.
You couldn't see it. Like if somebody was playing it, you had no idea what they were doing. Like
Oh,
it was just
No,
there.
because your eyes were in the.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Oh,
you're
okay.
face
Like
down
VR
on the
now.
monitor.
I
got it.
don't actually know what those are, and that wasn't in my brain. But when you typed it, I was like, oh, I remember hearing about that. That was long before I ever had any actual Nintendo product. I didn't have a Nintendo until the Wii.
I wrote this question, but my friend actually messaged me the other day saying that he just found his in the basement.
Does it work?
Still works.
Is it
Probably-
worth playing?
No. It's no.
You better have games for it because you're not finding any.
Oh no, you can't get that anywhere. Yeah.
I bet you can online, and I bet they're really expensive.
Or really cheap.
Fair.
All right. So let's move on to question number 2. And you'll notice the theme here. The Mario series also had a soccer or football franchise. What is the name of the soccer franchise named after a position on the pitch? These games would make Jamie Tart proud.
Yep. Yeah, we'll check in.
All right, dropping dimes in. Suck it signs checked in. We're bitter and we know it. Can now talk it out.
Well,
Gotta
Jamie
think
Tart's
it's gotta
Striker.
it's got to
Right?
be Mario Striker.
yeah.
Huh?
Jamie talk to
Do, 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 do.
Jamie talk to
Amy taught.
Yeah, let's go with Mario Striker.
And what did we have over at dropping times and suck it signs?
Yeah, I think it was Mario Strikers. I don't know if the plural makes any difference, but
I'll be lenient on this.
yeah.
So yeah. Both teams getting their points. It is
That's fair.
strikers.
That they would have changed if he hadn't been lenient, they would have been bitter to the end.
I mean, we're still going to be
Yeah,
bitter
I
to
mean,
the end,
let's
but
Just
we
wait
just
till
would
the
have
third
added
quarter.
more fuel onto the bitter fire.
Let's be real.
They don't need any more fuel after the third quarter. So
I can't do the Palpatine meme here, but imagine it. Yes, your hate makes you powerful.
question number 3. Super Mario Kart was originally released in 1992. The game had 8 playable characters, including Koopa Troopa. When Mario Kart 64 was released in 1997, Koopa Troopa was replaced by what antagonist and arch rival to Mario?
You good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna check in.
Right. Dropping dimes and socket signs is now checked in, so it's up to we're bitter and we know it to try not to be so bitter.
I mean, we could try.
Is this Wario?
That's the only name that came to mind for me. Like I just told you, I didn't have a Nintendo until the Wii, so anything prior to that, no clue. I mean, Wario was the name that came to mind when I heard the, rival
Right.
thing.
Right. Why not? Let's do it. Yeah, we'll check in with Wario.
Okay, dropping dimes and socket signs. What do you got?
We're also going to check in with my go-to when I'm intoxicated, Wario.
Both teams getting their points. The correct answer is Wario. I play tested this question to a couple of people, and a couple of them answered with Bowser, but I'm like, he's not a rival of Mario. He's not so much he's a villain more than a rival.
Yeah,
So,
and Wario, he's so gross to play with.
Oh,
Like it's not going slow, but you feel like it's going slow, and that's why I like to pick him.
So hold on. Wario. ... He's so gross to play with. Okay.
So after halftime, we have a score of dropping dimes and suck at signs with 265, and we're bitter, and we know it. Might get a little more bitter after some news coming their way with 355.
I'm sitting back here knowing what's coming. And
Well, at least I
get
get to be oblivious, and then you can watch me, watch my top just blow.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
So everybody loved the callback we had to DJ Cooper.
Oh, you don't have to do this, Eric.
I do.
You don't have to.
I have to. Today's third quarter will be the Dean's List.
The Dean's List. For this quarter, there will be 3 lists containing 10 items, where the teams will go back and forth, guessing the items on the list. If a team guesses incorrectly, the other team can attempt to finish out that list. Each team is allowed 1 mulligan to be used after an incorrect guess. Each item is worth 10 points.
This isn't a style this is a penalty.
Oh,
there's a flag on the play. This is
Oh no. Okay, Tex, we don't do this anymore. We discontinued this
for good reason.
Round style.
I can't wait.
At least I don't edit the third quarter.
That's why it's in the third quarter.
Matt's gonna love you.
Matt already knows.
Yeah, do you ran it by him for an okay before you pull?
No, I asked him what if we just threw a Dean's List in? He's like, go for it. I'm like, I'll put it in the third quarter.
Other people.
This was a
I
request.
know I chose chaos the other day. That didn't mean everybody got to just willy-nilly go.
So, Tex, how this works.
I blame you, Josh.
Tex, how this works.
Wouldn't have stopped him. He would have done it anyway.
No, you're right. He would have.
So how this works, Tex, is there will be 3 lists. We'll go through each one. Teams will go back and forth, giving answers on the list. If you miss one, you can get 1 retry for each or for all 3 lists. So you can't use it multiple times on one list.
Call them mulligans.
Mulligan,
Gotcha.
Basically. All right.
You don't
I have to re-record
one
this.
mulligan total.
It was 1 for all 3 lists. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get
One
one
total,
for
right.
each list. You get
Yes,
1 total.
correct.
mulligan
Yeah, I gotcha.
to use.
Do I need to re-record the rules for this?
No,
I'm sure it's archived somewhere.
We'll get it
If
somewhere.
nothing else, Matt can go grab it from a early
Previous
episode.
You're welcome, Sam. You're welcome.
Did Sam ask for this?
He's brought it up many times. Every time he's on, he's like, "Oh, the next quarter he'll just throw out Dean's List."
All right,
Talking about
well.
someone who ended their career in Dallas. I'm going to go down there and end his career.
All right. Well, Sam is now on my list. So
All right.
Hopefully it's a tall list because he's a tall man.
He is.
he's not that much taller than me, so I can look that guy right in his nose.
Chin.
I couldn't.
All right. So Dean's list 1. I want the Green Bay Packers leading rushers of the 2000s. So that's 2000 through 2009.
No.
And we'll start with the guest. So Marcus and Tex, dropping dimes and socket signs. I'm going to give each team a minute to give an answer, so this can move a little quicker.
Do you want to go with that as the first one? Because that was my first name.
That is number 1. Yes.
Okay, then go for it.
All right. I'm on green.
Amon Green with 8,322 yards is number 1.
Seahawk legend Amon Green.
All right, over to We're Bitter and We Know It.
Amon Green, who fumbled a couple of times, and then they said, let's trade him and then draft Sean Alexander. I'm not bitter. I don't care.
Josh.
The 2000s. Wasn't Ryan Grant in that stretch?
Yes, he was.
That's who I would say
Yeah,
then.
let's do it.
Ryan Grant.
With 3,412 yards, Ryan Grant is number 2. Over to Suck It.
And just so I'm clear, are we going in order?
No,
we
Oh,
don't
it could
have to
be
go in
any of
order.
the
it just
can be
happens to be going in order.
anybody you think is on this list, go and you feel good about, go ahead. You know what I mean? This is you. I can reaffirm names, but like you're gonna have a much better idea of who's high on this list.
And again, this is top X number that we're looking for.
top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10 in the 2000s.
All right. Just debating which way to go next.
I mean, if you feel good about both, like you feel both are in the top 10, then you can just pick one and hope they don't say that one.
I said 2000, 2009. Let's go with Najee Davenport, the other number 2.
With 1,068 yards, Najee Davenport is number 3.
The other number 2.
The other number 2.
God.
Back over to Bitter.
Do we need to explain that?
No.
you don't.
Okay.
We got it.
I was thinking for the sake of the listeners, but I know Matt will appreciate that one. He came up on the pod we just did with him a couple weeks ago.
Woo.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Bitter, you got about 45 seconds.
How about Sam Gano? Not Gano. Gado, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
At this point,
Gado. Or Gatto, or whoever you say his name. I remember him, but
Okay. Is that what you're going with?
yes.
All right. So I believe you're speaking of Sam Gatto
Yes.
with 575 yards in just 9 games. He is number 6 on the list.
Oh
my God, he's number
Oh.
6.
Wow.
Over to Suck It.
All right. Well, if Sam Gatto's number 6, then Brandon Jackson will definitely have to be on there.
Agree.
Is that what we're going with?
Yes.
All right. So with 626 yards in 36 games, Brandon Jackson is number 5. Over to Bitter.
Nebraska legend?
I've only got one more name. Josh, I don't know about you.
That's more names than I have.
Go with Fisher.
With 880 yards, Tony Fisher is number 4. Over to Suck It.
Was
I haven't
Jackson
heard that.
5?
Yes.
That's fortunate.
Oh my God.
Oh, baby, give me one more
chance. So we have 7, 8, 9, and 10 still left on the list.
Is Jackson 5?
Oh man. All right.
Hey,
I
Dan.
think
I'm so sorry.
we've
Okay,
lost
go ahead.
Marcus.
Go ahead.
I think I got to go with Deshaun Wynn.
Is that what we're going? You're checking in with Deshaun Wynn.
If he says it, Eric, we're going with it. I'm not
All
going to
right.
question
All
it.
right. Okay. Deshaun Wynn, unfortunately, is not on the list.
Oh,
so you have a choice to use a mulligan or give the rest of the list to We're Bitter and We Know It.
Okay. So the only strategy here is if we think that they're not going to name another person, we could save the mulligan. But if you feel like you got a good beat on who the rest of it could be, then and you want to run it, then we can do that.
I don't have a good beat on the rest of it sweeping the rest of the way through. No.
Okay. Well, then
I also
Oh, go ahead.
No. They also didn't feel terribly confident about or they didn't sound terribly confident about any other names yet. So
Right.
So
do you
going
wanna save it?
passing.
yeah, I think
right.
I'm okay passing it.
All right.
All right. So it's going back to We're Bitter and We Know It to finish the list.
That's the only name I've got left, Josh.
I have the one. Did you see the one I put?
Oh,
But I think yours might be better.
yeah. I think he played I think he had more carries at least.
Yeah, look, you know what? Let's go with it, and if we're lucky enough, we can try that other one.
All right, we're going to a fullback here. We're going to go to John Kuhn.
John Kuhn is not
All right
on the list.
Is William Henderson?
William Henderson, not on the list.
Oh, well, so both our fullbacks didn't.
Did Dorsey Levens make the list?
So, are you guys going to use your mulligans?
No.
We're getting out of this list. All right.
Run it.
So, number 7 with 570 yards, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, duh.
Oh,
Duh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Number 8.
yeah, rushing yards. Okay. Yeah, that makes
Number
sense.
8
Favre
with 529 yards, Vernand Morrissey.
That 2006, 2017 was a mess. Oh, 2006 especially.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
Number 9 with 391 yards in 128 games, Brett Favre.
Wow.
And number 10, 2 yards behind Brett Favre in just 20 games in the 90s or 2000s. I'm sorry, 389 yards, Dorsey Levens.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but I was like,
That
no
was-
way.
That was that return after he left for Philly for a couple of years. Yep. All right.
Was there an unsexier back in the history of football than Dorsey Levens?
So we've got
Brad Muster for the Bears. There's one for you.
Scotty Graham.
so we each got 30 for that one.
Both teams got 30 points on that list. So brings us to list number 2, which we'll go to We're Bitter and We Know It first. I want the top 10 active career playoff point leaders who have only played for one team in the NHL.
Oh, good God almighty. All right. Active. Got it. Got it.
Active career playoff points leaders.
That have only played for one team.
We'll check in with Sidney Crosby.
With 201 points, Sidney Crosby is number 1. That brings us over to Suck It.
Okay. Can I do this just so I can act like I contributed?
Do it.
Okay. We're going to say Alexander Ovechkin.
With 141 points, Alexander Ovechkin is number 3. Over to Bitter.
All right, we'll check in with Yevgeny Malkin.
With 180 points, Evgeny Malkin is number 2. Back to Suck It.
Should I take this one?
Yeah. Whatever you're most confident with.
All right. Let's go with Patrick Kane.
With 132 points, Patrick Kane is number 5. That brings us back to We're Bitter and We Know It.
Oh boy.
How about
you got anything else?
you play for more than one team?
I don't know. That I'm not sure on.
So I'm gonna throw something in here for the listeners. We're looking for the active playoff point leaders in the NHL that only played for one team.
I think he's safe.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he's played for anyone else.
Got about 10 seconds.
You think he's high enough on the list?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Jonathan Taves.
With 119 points, Jonathan Tays is number 8 on the list. Back to Suck It.
Okay. Which one do you next feel good about? I like that one. I like that one a lot.
All right. We're going to check in with Steven Stamkos.
Steven Stamkos with 78 points is not in the top 10. Would you like to use a mulligan?
We
Got a lot more names.
do have a lot more names on this one.
We're still looking for number 4, number 6, number 7, number 9, and number 10.
What do you think?
I'd be up for using it.
Okay, let's do it.
Do it.
All right. I'm going to need an answer.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to go Nicholas Backstrom for Washington.
With 114 points, Nicholas Backstrom is number 10 on the list.
There we go. There we go.
Back over to We're Bitter and We Know It.
You want to go with one that
Yes, go with him first.
Okay. We'll check in with Nikita Kucherov.
With 138 points, Nikita Kucherov is number 4. Back to suck it.
We picked the wrong Lightning.
Yeah, we did. And you did have it pretty high too. I think you actually put it before, didn't you? Yes, I was thinking that team also.
We have 3 entries left on the list.
Yeah, I feel good about that one.
Okay, let's do it. I was gonna ask if he had been on one team.
Yeah. Okay. Brad Marchand.
Oh.
With 118 points, Brad Marchand is number 9.
Okay, then we got to go with the one we have left then, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I'll go Patrice Bergeron.
With 127 points, Patrice Bergeron is number 6. So we have 1 left.
Looking for number 7.
That's correct.
Okay, number 7.
All right. Anze Kopitar.
Unfortunately, he is not on the list. He's not in the top 15.
Okay.
All right.
So that brings us to, we're bitter and we know it, to try to get the last entry on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Have we had anybody from that team yet?
I don't think so. I think haven't the only Western Conference been Chicago?
Yeah, there's got to be someone from the Ducks on this list.
Okay. Can you name a Duck who's been only a Duck? Scores points.
Donald
Banks.
Scrooge.
Banks.
Connor Banks.
Yeah, Connor Banks. Russ Tyler.
Oh man. No, I can't.
I don't.
Averman.
Guy Germain.
Guy Germain, that's it. Oh, I couldn't think of it.
Why did I ask that question? No.
Johnny Moreau.
Yeah.
Wait, who's the one from the first one? Carp?
We know it's not Goldberg. He's too busy with other things.
Other
of life's pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm out of names.
I can't think of. That's not a team I
Dean
have
Portman.
paid much attention to.
Right.
Fulton Reed. That's who I was trying to think of.
Are there any sharks that we could name too? We haven't named any sharks yet.
Tiger.
If Thornton hadn't left, and is he even still playing? I don't even know.
Thornton played for a long time for the Bruins too.
Okay, I just know that, but he also went somewhere else now, didn't he? He's somewhere in the.
Same with what's his name? Duncan Keith just left too. I don't have anything.
I don't either.
All right, we're out.
What do you got? Nothing?
Nothing.
No names. So the last one on the list was number 7. He had 120 points. You guys were on the right track looking for a Duck. He's technically active until the end of this season, and then he will be retiring. His name is Ryan Getzlaf.
Getzlaf.
Oh.
I thought he was already retired.
He's. I mean, it was announced that this was his farewell season. So
I wouldn't have. I didn't have it anyway. At least we got a couple extra points out of that mulligan.
All right, which brings us to list number 3, which will then go back to dropping dimes and suck it signs. This one's a little wordy. So in 1993, the ESPY for best boxer went to Riddick Bowe. Since then, it went to 10 different boxers. Note that the award was not given out from 2007 to 2018. And also it was not given out in 2020 due to COVID. So from 94 till 2021, it was given to 10 different boxers. So I'm going to need, there's no particular order. It's just 10 boxers from 94 till 2021.
Yeah. What do you want to go with first?
I mean, either one. I don't care.
What was the time frame that they weren't issuing it?
2007 to 2018.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They took a break.
Yeah. We're going to check in with Evander Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield has won it 3 times, 94,
Hey!
97, and 98. So we're going back to we're bitter and we know it.
We go with the one that I said right after Holyfield.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. We'll go Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr. has also won it 3 times in 96, 2000, and 2003. Back to suck it.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that?
I think so.
I think so too. I'm just so terrified.
Mhm.
Mostly to disappoint Eric Walling, but no, I don't care about what anything he thinks.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna check in with Lennox Lewis.
In 2002, Lennox Lewis. That is correct. Back over to we're bitter and we know it.
Probably for that. Yeah.
Are we? Is the 2021 one in play?
Yes.
Okay, I that's got to be it.
It's got to be.
Yeah, Tyson Fury.
In 2021, Tyson Fury. That is correct. Back over to suck it.
Riddick Bowe. What was that? Sorry, I just need.
Riddick Bowe was the first in 1993.
93. Okay.
Yes. So we're looking from 94 to 2021 with about 11 years missing in between.
We're going to check in with Oscar De La Hoya.
Winner in 99 and 2006. Oscar De La Hoya is correct.
Nice.
Go with that one, Josh. Yeah.
Which one? The one I just said?
Yeah.
We'll check in with Canelo Alvarez.
Winner in 2019. Canelo Alvarez is correct.
We are going to check in with Bernard Hopkins.
Winner in 2005. We have Bernard Hopkins.
Let's go.
We have 3 left.
All right. Should we go with that one?
Mm-hmm.
I think he snuck in early. George Foreman.
Winner in 1995.
Wow.
Everyone's dad.
No
George
way.
Foreman.
Is it when he came back and won at like 40
Yep.
something years old?
It was
Yeah.
like 95, I think. Is that what you said?
They backed a pickup truck with money
95,
to his
yeah.
house, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Crazy.
Okay.
So that leaves 2 years.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
And they're one timers because we got 2 names left, right? Yeah.
Right.
Whew.
I
I've got to tell you, I got nothing. I am done. I have exhausted my minimal knowledge of boxing history. Boxing history since 1994.
So I'll tell you for the listeners, the Bernard Hopkins one, why I even brought him up is because of the Fight Night video games. I remember he was on the cover a couple times. Yeah, that's the only reason I brought that up. Gosh, 01 and 04. That's rough. That's a name that I know that I don't know what era he's in. I just know it's a name.
Sure. Do it. That's more than I got.
Okay, we're gonna go with Julio Cesar Chavez.
That is incorrect.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I didn't know what era. I think there's a junior in there somewhere.
So we're gonna go back to we're bitter and we know it for the final 2 if they can get it.
So De La Hoya had some scraps with what's his name? Trinidad in the middle there. I wonder if he's on here.
I mean, the times, the 01 and 04 fit right between the 2 De La Hoyas. So if
Yeah. So let's try Felix Trinidad. We'll check that in.
In 2001, Felix Trinidad is correct.
Okay.
That's the name I was trying to grab that I couldn't grab. I was like, who fought? De La Hoya fought somebody multiple times.
All right, we got one left on the list.
I don't have this.
I don't have any other names. Like
I don't either.
between our list and their list,
I don't know. Sugar Shane Mosley.
you can throw out whatever you want because I got nothing.
Let's go with Mosley.
I'm gonna need 2 answers because that one's incorrect. And you still got
Because
your
we
mulligan.
have our mulligan.
We gotta do another one.
Yeah, another answer. Let's go, Dan. Woo!
Yeah.
No mind palace here. Just reach deep down and pull a name out.
Just bad boxers.
I got nothing left. We can just
Couldn't
go
have been
with
that bad of a boxer to win. He had to have at least been okay for that year. in.
This is right when they decided to give it up, so it's probably not.
Oh, they're like, God, we gave it to that guy. Let's stop this.
Oh no.
Should we go with a Smith or a Johnson or a
Sure.
Lucky Hernandez or
Sounds good.
let's go with like a, I don't know, pick one. Nothing.
I don't care.
Say a name.
Anything.
We'll go with a Lucky Gutierrez.
Oh, nice.
All right. And in 2004, Antonio Gutierrez. No, his name was not Gutierrez. No, that is incorrect, but it was in 2004, Antonio Tarver.
Oh, it
Is
must
he
be
the guy
Miles'
who
brother.
was in
Miles, right?
Miles' brother?
Miles'
right?
brother.
Yeah, Miles' brother.
Nobody else that's listening to this, except for maybe Tim Simplot, knows who Miles Tarver is.
Is he the one that was in Rocky Balboa?
You will know who.
Yes,
he is.
you're right. You're right.
If you weren't a Gopher fan from the
Yes, he was.
late 90s,
He was.
That's him.
I'm so mad. I was trying to think of who that was.
So, by the way,
Because
I've
I
never
think
heard
it's-
of Antonio Tarver, but Miles Tarver.
Because I think in the movie his name was like Forrest Griffin, maybe, or something like that.
That's a real guy.
Oh no, that is shit.
Can we have everyone stop for just a second and go look up Miles Tarver's mustache? Because it was glorious.
So
Mason Dixon.
The line?
They said, I don't know what to call this guy. Mason Dixon. Damn it.
Oh
Miles
no,
Tarver,
Miles
Minnesota.
Tarver. Oh no. Oh no.
You remember him?
I do remember that name actually. Now that I'm thinking about him, and now that I see that incredible mustache.
It's something.
Why is he? Stop it.
Yikes.
He tell you what though, that guy could rebound.
Not
Couldn't
all he
shoot.
could do, but yeah.
He couldn't shoot, but he could rebound.
Let me enter my scores.
Yucky.
Sorry.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
No,
You know who had the most manicured and perfect goatee of all time? Mariners legend Franklin Gutierrez. Now that you mentioned Gutierrez, he had
Lucky
the
Gutierrez.
most manicured. It was paper thin.
I'll put Fernando Vina, Brewers legend, up there with Franklin Gutierrez.
Fernando Vina did have a good one.
So after the third quarter, we have a score of dropping dimes and suck it signs with 375, and we're bitter and we know it. 485.
No.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that brings us to today's fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today are as follows. Hold on. The categories for today are as follows. Question 1, Sally O'Malley. Question 2, the Continental. Question 3, the Devil. And question 4, Stefan.
Are we going back to the days now? As long as we're doing way back stuff, are we going back to the days where we don't say what the categories are?
Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that, huh? All right. Sally O'Malley is going to be the NFL. The Continental will be Major League Baseball. The Devil is nicknames in sports. And Stefan will be the NHL.
So not even NHL adjacent. Straight up NHL.
Oh, it's straight up NHL. That is.
Clarifying, can we bet 666 on the Devil question?
No, but you can wager 66.6.
Oh.
Nice.
Don't do that.
Oh.
I'm sure decimals would be fine in the spreadsheet, but
Fun fact for all the listeners out there. Some of you may know of the Omen remake that was released in 2006. As a matter of fact, it was released on June 6th, 2006. So if you were in Los Angeles at that time, they had a bunch of billboards up that just had 6606 separated by little upside down crosses as giant billboards to advertise the movie, which was my 18th birthday.
Awesome.
So I may or may not be the devil.
I think we all know the answer to that question.
Yep. I'll let you listeners decide.
We all know the devil wouldn't last more than 5 minutes in Alaska.
Well, unless he's in the dome. Just saying.
It is now time for the teams to place their wagers. Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question number 1 of the fourth quarter. Since the year 2000, the Green Bay Packers have scored 50 points or more 4 times. Once in 2005, in 2012, and twice in 2014. The easy thing to do would be to name the quarterbacks for those games. Each game, the Packers had a different leading rusher. Name 2 of the 4 leading rushers in terms of yards for those 4 50-point plus games.
We're going to check in.
Dropping dimes and suck it signs checked in. We're bitter. We know it has about 40 seconds to talk it up.
I mean, we've got 2 names right now, and I don't know if we're gonna.
I don't know if I feel good with you saying Eddie Lacy was one of the 2014s, and like
If there were 2 different ones in 2014, Lacey's got to be one of them.
I would think he'd have to be one of them, yeah. And then when I was thinking about the 05, I thought that's Najee Davenport. When I was looking back at our list of, rushers of the 2000s.
Right. And so we're going with Lacey for sure, and then you want to go Davenport or Grant.
I think either is fine. I think because would Grant been there in 12?
Yeah,
still. I mean,
let's go Davenport then.
Okay. All right.
Lacey and Davenport for 85.
Okay, and dropping dimes and suck it signs, your answer and wager, please.
All right, we're going with Eddie Lacy and James Starks for 100.
Let's go in order here. In 2005, in a game where they won 52-3 versus the Saints.
Oh my God.
So the Saints were trash then too.
Yeah.
The leading rusher was Najee Davenport, 12 carries for 54 yards. In 2012, in a game where the Packers won 55-7 versus the Titans, the leading rusher with 20 carries for 80 yards was Ryan Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about his 50-yarder in that game.
In 2014, November 16th, or actually, let's go this the other way. November 9th of 2014, in a 55-10 win versus the Bears, the leading rusher, 8 carries, 54 yards. Everybody's favorite, DeJuan Harris.
Odd.
Wow.
And the last one, November 16th of 2014, 1 week later, in a 53-20 win versus the Eagles, the leading rusher for 10 carries for 69 yards, Eddie Lacy.
You kidding? The leading rusher in those 50-point games, the highest one had like 80 yards.
Correct. And one was a 50-yard run.
This is the Packers we're talking about. They don't run the ball, even when they're crushing the team.
That Philly game had I think there were at least 2 defensive touchdowns in that Philly game. And Eddie Lacy's big play in that game was like a 60-yard screen pass. So that was the iffy one for me. I was thinking it was Starks for that Tennessee game, but I completely forgot that Grant came back and busted off that 50-yarder in that game. Son of a gun.
So one team getting their points on that. 85 points goes to We're Bitter and We Know It.
Tex had actual knowledge though of that.
hey, to be fair, Letterkenny, the best. Anyways, every time I was a guest on here and I had Sonic's questions, I miss them most of the time because I know too much. It's paralysis by analysis. You know all of the things, and therefore you have a very hard time sifting through all of it.
How and why did you guys pull Davenport specifically for the 2005 game?
I just
was going back and looking at our list.
I was looking at the list of the 2000s runners, and I
man.
thought which one would have probably been in that 05, and that's where I
Jeez.
stuck him.
All right, question number 2, the Continental. There are 13 countries that have 3 or more players currently active in Major League Baseball. The United States has the most with 1,088 players. Second is the Dominican Republic with 169. There are only 2 European countries represented in Major League Baseball, both countries with 1 active player each. One in the AL in his 7th season and the other in the NL in his 10th season. Name each player or name both countries.
Okay. Let's check in then.
Okay.
You guys checked in?
Yeah, we'll check in.
All right. We're bitter and we know it has checked in. Dropping dimes and suck it signs can now talk it up.
Talk it out. All right. Well, yeah, I'm good on Gregorius. That sounds right to me.
Right.
I guess.
So here's my only thought. We've been given 2 avenues to make a choice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive the Netherlands is Gregorius.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if that's the case,
Germany,
then...
and you also said Germany. Germany was just a country that popped in my head. I don't know who it is. I have no idea. But if we both thought it, it's just we could just say Netherlands and Germany.
Yeah.
If we can't think of a player.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think we definitely go countries for sure. Like I said, Moustakis
is so Greek. Yeah.
Well, right.
Yeah.
The name's Greek. I agree. I think you're right. I think he is American. It just fit because I'm like, okay, who's got like a Greek name who's in the NL who's been around for about 10 years. So but no, I agree. I also think he's American. Do
you want to do the 2 countries? Because I don't think I'm gonna think of another player. So we're both thinking Germany.
Yeah, I think Netherlands and Germany sounds pretty good to me.
We're going to check in with the Netherlands and Germany for 95 points.
And we're bitter and we know it. Your answer and wager, please.
We're also checking in with the same countries, but then we think we have the players. So yeah, Ede Gregorius. And I think this came up on one of our previous podcasts where he's from the Netherlands. And I was like, huh? And I do believe that the German, he's a German American, Max Kepler. He was
that sounds right. Yeah. Okay.
So he's out. Right. He was signed out of Germany, so it wasn't part of the draft. So we also checked in with the Netherlands and Germany for 85 points.
The 2 countries are Germany and the Netherlands. Ede Gregorius is from the Netherlands and born in Berlin, Germany. Max Kepler.
Nice.
So both teams getting their points.
Max Kepler, I put in a couple of parlays this weekend, so that's very funny.
I went to a Twins game last year when he was still playing in Minnesota. And now I think about it, that I feel like I remember that being on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, if you hear him talk, I'm sure he's fluent in both languages, but I'm sure wherever he is, he sounds like he's from that country when he's speaking it. But yeah. So I think both his parents might be Americans, but they were one's an American. No, I thought his mom is an American ballet dancer.
His father is German and his mother is Polish.
I thought one of them was
like Robert Lewandowski.
His parents were professional ballet dancers. Father is Polish, yes, and his mother is from San Antonio.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
That's a suburb. Yeah. That's a suburb of Frankfurt, right?
Yes, San Antonio, Germany.
I just think of Charles Barkley and what he says about women in San Antonio whenever it comes up. Anyways,
question number 3, category the devil. There has been many great line combinations in NHL history. The Legion of Doom line formed in the lockout shortened season of 1994-95 when the Flyers traded for John LeClair to play with Eric Lindros, who was the 3rd member of this all-time great line.
Good luck, Tex. I wish you the most luck, and I really hope you can come through.
I feel like this isn't that hard of a question if you're a hockey fan.
Yeah, we're checking in.
All right. Dropping Dimes and Suck Science has checked in. It is now time for We're Bitter and We Know It to talk it out.
Now I'm just thinking, Eric.
I
How
know who
about this
is.
tasty lick?
What'd you say, Dan?
I know who this is. He's Swedish.
Okay.
On the highway, on the byway.
Oh, man. What was his name?
Yeah, the devil can't write no love song. I just got bit by the love bat.
And it's driving me mad.
What was his name?
I haven't thought about that in years.
Oh, we have a visit to the Mind Palace.
I feel
No
like
need
we
to
need
add
to
a drop in there, boys.
I feel like we need to change the sound. It needs to just be Dan walking up the steps and then just typing a wrong number into a keypad.
It needs
And
to be
then,
the
and then him
steps
just
from.
mumbling David under his breath, and then he goes in.
It can be the steps from Thriller. You know, the steps right at the
Yes.
very beginning. And then out of nowhere, you go. you have like Samuel L. Jackson. I'm sure you can find it somewhere of him being like, "Get the hell out of here!" And that's Dan throwing out David, and then we can come back.
Sorry, that took me so long. David was there. I had to throw him out. Pretty sure this is Renberg.
Cool.
How many points?
85 points.
And over to Dropping Dimes and Suck It Signs. Answer and wager, please.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Mark Recchi for 100 points.
One team getting their points here. Unfortunately, Mark Recchi was part of the John LeClaire trade. The correct answer is Mikhail Renberg.
The way Dan said it, I thought his name was Renberg.
He has a brother
like,
named Stimpy.
Yeah,
Stimpy Berg.
Stimpy Berg.
Nobody knew Ren's last name was Berg this whole time.
Isn't it?
Ren Hoek.
Oh man.
All right. On
I
to
feel like
question-
French toast.
Idiot. By the way, if they ever made a Ren and Stimpy live action movie,
Oh my god.
Why haven't they?
Buscemi's playing Ren, right?
Dan, I think we need to call somebody because that all the hot garbage that comes out today, that has never been done. Huge oversight.
And it has to be him, right? It has
Steve
to be
Buscemi
Buscemi.
looks like a human cigarette.
He looks like Ren.
Doesn't have the right voice though.
Who looks like Stimpy?
What's that guy's name?
Josh Gad.
Oh,
I was gonna say the
I
guy
was gonna
from
say-
the
I was gonna say Eric Stone Street, but
the guy from Hot Fuzz.
That's
What's
not
that
bad.
guy's name?
Oh,
yeah.
Nick Frost.
Nick,
Yes,
As long as they have to have the commercials in it too, though.
Powdered
Yeah,
Toast Man.
and
Powdered
who's gonna be
Toast
French
and
Toast Man?
Log.
Log.
Yes. Oh my god. All right.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Let's move on to question 4 in the category of Stefan. Patrick Stefan was not the right choice to start a franchise. What franchise made Stefan their first ever draft choice, selecting him first overall, passing up on greats like Martin Havlat, Henrik Zetterberg, and one, or at least one half of all-time great set of twins?
checking in. And I actually know I'm right on this one.
All right. Dropping Dimes and Suck It Signs checked in. We're bitter and we know it. What do you got?
think this is exactly what Eric said, not the way to start a franchise. And I don't think that franchise exists anymore, at least not in the form that it did. I think this is Atlanta,
I'll trust you.
the Thrashers, for 14 points.
Okay, and back over to Suck It. What do you got?
Atlanta Thrashers for 80 points.
All right, both teams getting their points. That draft wasn't good to begin with.
No.
So, because even the guys like Havlat and Zetterberg were well after the first round. I mean, you had the Sedin twins, but other than that, that's about it. The game has come to an end, and here are the final scores. Dropping Dimes and Suck It Signs finishes with a solid 350 points. And today's clipboard captains of the game who will be receiving the coveted Randy White Award. We're bitter and we know it. Enjoy your Packers, Wisconsin clipboard captain. All right. Anything you guys like to say before we call it a night? How about we start over with Tex?
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me, guys. I would certainly love to do it again. Hopefully I can show up a little bit better than I did this time. But thanks for putting up with me, Marcus, and you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Well, let's start with this, Tex. It was awesome meeting you. Maybe one day I can come on your podcast and we can talk about the NFC Championship game.
God.
Wow.
No, sorry. That's not what I meant. Anyway, I'm like the dumb one.
Golden Tate, right?
I'm the dumb one on this show. So like you were pretty much DOA as soon as you arrived. So don't worry about it. Next time we'll put you with somebody much smarter, albeit way less charming. And we'll get.
Don't talk about David like that. Don't talk about David like that.
And we'll get you a W next time. But dude, it was so fun to play with you. It was a great time.
Dan and Josh.
Tex,
come on. Thanks for coming on.
Definitely held your own. That's that's okay for you to get some wheelhouse questions wrong because we all do too. When there's questions that roll through and we're like, oh yeah, I didn't get it.
I made up a Vikings quarterback out of thin air once. Wasn't even a real person.
It was a combo of two different quarterbacks.
Yeah. Made my own mediocre quarterback out of thin air. So
at least you have Jake Browning now. So
I don't know if he'll be hanging around. Maybe he'll be practice squad again. Who knows? But
I think he should be the backup, if I'm being honest.
That's not going to happen. So yeah,
we can all throw farther than Jake Browning. Let's just say that.
I don't know. My arm's pretty toast these days.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Tex. We really do appreciate it, and I do mean everything I say when I say that I hate the Packers. But you're cool, and I know a lot of Packers fans that I love dearly. So it's not that. It's just your team. I can't stand them, and
some fans like Matt.
Yeah, and I'm bitter about it, and I readily admit it. And
as am I, ditto to that statement. We're just jealous.
I'm not jealous. I just hate them.
Well, I'm jealous that I wish we had Hall of Fame quarterbacks for a 30-year span.
Don't worry. That's coming to an end soon. At this rate.
They'll fall ass backwards into somebody else.
I've got a quarterback you can have.
Yeah, they're gonna end up with Baker Mayfield, and he's gonna carry on the tradition.
They can have Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, you can take Kirk. That's fine.
No, we got enough loonies.
No one wants Kirk Cousins except
for Aaron Rodgers. Apparently, they have a.
He would fit perfectly afterwards. Just roll right.
They're both pod people, so it's fine.
You're saying you're ready to move on from pod people?
Well,
whenever Aaron's done,
when he's done, yeah, let's be done with the pod people under center.
No one said anything so far about the fact that Tex is sitting in front of Lambeau Field right now, which is
literally
tundra.
I will throw out there that I did something to Lambeau Field once when I was in Green Bay that I'm not going to admit what it was because I think the statute of limitations might still be going on that. But I felt better after I was done. Dan, I had a lot to drink before then.
Dan, I think you can pee in the sinks. I think that's just a thing that happens. I don't think you're going to get in trouble for that.
Dripping in urine. It doesn't matter.
There was a spot with my name on it. On the bricks on the outside.
Right.
On the outside.
Committing crimes on the podcast. You're welcome.
I don't think you can go to an NFL football game and not step in urine repeatedly. So I mean, I think you're okay.
And you know what, Tex? You have the honor because these guys are more than welcome to have you on. They hate you, your bitter rival. David's a part of the podcast, so he doesn't count, but I would never allow an Oregon fan to come on this show. Because we will fight.
So you're saying don't invite Justice. Got it.
Is that his first name?
Yeah. Yeah, Justice
No.
Mosqueda from Acme Packing Company.
No,
Yeah.
then don't. No.
Hey, Justice,
As long as Marcus is, if
I'm
Marcus
going to
isn't
be
on,
far away.
I don't know. I think that can make for an interesting podcast. It better be, maybe should be a fast break episode. There might be a lot of cursing involved.
Love it. Just kidding, Justice.
All
Come on
right.
the podcast,
Well,
please.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Tex, for coming on. And if you want to take a minute, just for any Packers fans that we may have, other than Matt, I think it's just Matt and
Trevor.
I think that's it.
Trevor.
Oh, Trevor's a Packers fan.
Oh,
All right. Well,
yeah.
Trevor's not allowed to back on the podcast. Go ahead, Tex. Let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Again, you can reach all of our work at Acme Packing Company. It's acmepackingcompany.com. We're at Acme Packing Co. on Twitter, Instagram. You can get me at Tex Western on Twitter. And yeah, hope to see you guys around the interwebs. Go Pack Go.
Absolutely. Ugh.
I honestly thought you were a Division III college when I first heard your name, but
No, they changed.
but
the
you're
name.
much cooler than that.
Tex Western or Acme Packing Company?
Both, I guess. But yeah, Tex Western.
I mean, wasn't there a Texas Western? There used to be a Texas
That
Western.
was-
What did
It's now UTEP.
they- UTEP. Yeah.
It ended up being
All right.
UTEP. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, way to end the podcast on a UTEP. Awesome.
Hey,
Well, thank you. Thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Until next time, smoke some meth and we'll keep the bench warm.
no, kids. No, do not.
Math.
No.
No, I said do math.
Gamble
not
and
what you
drink
said.
instead.
Oh, I meant to say do math. I meant, meth helps math.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it does not.
Oh,
PCP.
no,
Oh.
no.
That'll help
no,
it.
none of
Angel
that.
dust.
if you want to be
Stop
an
it.
accountant,
Stop, all of you.
Cut
Stop.
it.
With the booger sugar.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes! Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.